Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about technical SEO, how you can get results, traffic, sales and anything else. I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Olga Zarechna. How are you?
Hi. I'm very happy to be here. So yes, let's talk technical SEO and see what we can learn all from each other.
Yeah. Uh, by the way, we have a sponsor today. Ahrefs is our sponsor and
I love this tool.
uh, oh,
I
then
use it all
share.
the time. So
Yeah, I think in my agency it's the number one tool that
yeah,
we are using all the time, and yeah, because of
the same
all
with me.
this all these features, unique features that can help with link building, keyword research, technical optimization. And before we start, just tell more about your experience, background, and why you decided to share about technical SEO.
So I've been in SEO since I think 2012, 11. So around 2010, I learned about SEO and that it is possible to actually make money online. And this is when I started learning, started creating websites. And I was creating my own websites for a couple of years. Then I landed my first job in SEO at the agency, and this is how it all started. And since then I've been like doing it full time all the time, and this is also my greatest passion. So this is not only my job but my passion. And here I am
Mhm.
today. And 2 years ago I decided to set up my own blog and thought that maybe it is a good idea to start sharing what I learn, sharing my thoughts, and it turned out to be a really good idea. So
I found that when you share new information, you can learn, you can
yes,
memorize all the skills. Yeah, because,
yes,
for example, if you learn something new, you can forget for a few weeks. For me,
yes,
I have short memory. I can forget for a few days, for a few minutes. If I
yes,
don't share
yes,
with my audience. Yeah,
exactly.
it's a good idea about that. Okay, you're super active, to share knowledge on many recognizable places. Can you tell more why it's your passion? Because I often get the question why, how SEO can be passion. Because people think it's boring, it's not interesting, and I usually reply to them, okay, skip it, find what you like more, and find your passion. Why not? Can you tell how SEO can provide this passion for you?
So I would say that I like learning new things and experimenting with new things, and this is what SEO lets me do. And even at the very beginning, when I was following those different tutorials on how to optimize a website, it was so exciting for me to see that, oh, my site now started to appear on the fifth page of Google for this keyword, when I was actually seeing that, yeah, this can actually work. I can log into Google Search Console or Google Analytics and see that yes, something is happening as a result of my actions, as a result of my optimizations. And I think the most motivating thing was when I earned my first dollar from ads. This was like the best. Yeah, this is really possible. I don't like need to work like be a normal employee that goes to office every day. I can actually make money online. This is like when it all kind of starts in my head, and I
Mhm.
think it gives me the freedom. It lets me grow, learn, and at the same time I can work from home, which is what I love the most. I'm just like made this way to be sitting at home with my headset and doing my
Nice,
my
nice.
my thing.
By the way, I like your working place, this
Thanks.
chair, this wall.
Yeah, gaming
Awesome.
chair. This is not wall. This is like only like a piece of paper.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's get back to the main topic. Can you tell where to start with technical optimization? Because we have a bunch of tools that can help to find all these errors, but when I check out a lot of errors, I don't know where to start because a lot of errors. And tell how it's important to optimize with green line by page speed insights. Do we need to chase this green line, or it's better to pay attention with some critical errors?
Okay, so let's start with where to start. So I would say that depending on your role, your level of SEO, I would always recommend starting with reading Google Advanced SEO documentation. This is a long read, and this is not an easy read, but you will really get a ton from it. So I would say this is the place where you should start to kind of get the idea of what technical SEO is, what it involves. Then start playing with different tools. I would say Sitebulb may be a good tool to start with because it provides a lot of different explanations. It has even if it marks something as an error, it has a link to documentation and explains when this can actually be an error, when it isn't. So I would say use the tools that provide some explanations so that you can get more experience. But of course, to be able to understand how it works, whether a specific issue is really an issue, you need to create a bunch of websites. You need to break a bunch of websites. You need to commit a lot of mistakes before you can actually open the site and see, okay, so this is a mistake. This isn't a mistake. So I would say learn the theory and practice, and Google provides so much information that you can start there. And of course there are a ton of SEOs who share this knowledge. Even Aleida Solis has her learningseo.io site where you have like every resource for learning SEO, including technical SEO, listed there. So that's about where to start. And regarding page speed, so I would say this green color, it is nice to have, but I wouldn't say this is something we should be focusing on, because this green color in PageSpeed Insights is basically the lab assessment of your site. So if the emulated device, usually when we test the site, we test it on a desktop computer, which has better like CPU and stuff like that. So we may have those results better, green. But what we should really care about is the field data, which is basically core web vitals in the field, which we can check in Google Search Console. And if we have enough traffic, we can also see them in Google PageSpeed Insights, whether core web vitals are passed. So I would say, as long as core web vitals in the field are passed for our site, I wouldn't really care too much about getting PageSpeed Insights to the green zone, unless this is like a sales tool for us that we want to show to our clients that all our sites have green colors. This may be something you may want to pursue, but when it comes to Google assessing your site and Google ranking factors, only the field data, which is core web vitals, are actually a ranking factor, but this is another story, that they aren't, I think, such a big ranking factor like they seemed to be a year ago.
Can you tell how to measure this impact? Because you mentioned it's not big, sometimes it's big. How to find this measurement? It's SEO instinct, or it's logical process, or you rely to some studies? Tell about your measurement.
So I would say the way I would measure it, you just want to be better than your competitors are. So you just want to list your competitors, see what their scores are, how fast their sites are, and if their sites are very, very fast and you are very, very slow, then you definitely need to work on that. But if they're like 40 something and they don't pass core web vitals, then it will be enough for you to pass them, and you will be, in that respect, better. But I would treat speed like a tiebreaker, which is like, if we isolate all other signals, then this may have an impact that we are worse in that respect. But there are so many other, like 300 other factors at play, that it is nice to have, but there are other things as well that matter, and we just want to be faster than our competitors are, especially if like optimizing for 100 scores is something that we will have to invest a ton of time, resources, and we are already at 89, for example. Then I wouldn't fight for more.
Okay. Okay, I have the question about
Sure.
obsolete techniques. For example, I have some Chrome extension. How it's called? I can see the name of this extension, but this extension shows that keywords are missing on my page. I think Google doesn't consider keyword meta tags like more than 15
Meta
years.
keywords? You mean
Meta
meta
keywords,
keywords?
yeah, meta keywords.
Okay.
And I asked the same question Fabrice Canel from Bing, and I asked him, what do you think about meta keywords, because Google doesn't consider them. Bing, and he replied, Bing doesn't consider them for over 15 years as well. uh, can you tell how to divide obsolete techniques from technical optimization tools to critical errors? Because when I have, for example, when I get this error that I need to fix my meta keywords on the page, it takes time, to rewrite like
Yeah.
1,000 pages to submit all these keywords, but it doesn't work, it doesn't help at all.
Yes,
uh,
yes.
yeah, and I want to share why I'm asking about that. I remember when one of my clients told me, no, I fixed all alt text errors and spent 2 weeks for that. And when I check out pages where he fixed them, that was page about us, contact page, many others. We're not going to rank these pages. We don't need
Irrelevant
to fix
pages.
these pages. Yeah. Can you tell about critical errors, how to find them, how to divide obsolete errors for like meta keywords or anything else, and to choose priorities?
So I would say the best way is to have like your own checklist, which you regularly update. Which is like I have my own checklist of things I check for my for technical SEO audits I do, and I like once every 3 months I make sure that this is up to date, that maybe something changed or didn't change, and I follow that my own list. So I use the tools like Screaming Frog, Sidebulb, Ahrefs, and some other tools to follow my own list and check what's on my list. And I would say maybe there are some outdated plugin extensions, Chrome extensions, which have those obsolete SEO elements. But I would say the best known tools such as Ahrefs, I don't think they will show meta keywords as an error for you. And what else? And I would say keep an eye on again Google documentation to stay in the know what's changed, what's new. I think in Google documentation it is clearly said that meta keywords are not a ranking factor. But there are some cases where when you may consider them useful, like for your or for just your own purposes, you want to know that this is the keyword you want it to rank, or you want this page rank for, and you can use it as like for your own reference. Of course, it won't matter for Google, but even I think recently I audited a site which it was like one of the first sites in a very, very long time which actually had meta keywords. And it was done by developers who simply put it there because that it was like a reference point for them, and it didn't harm no one. So
Yeah, okay, valuable.
yeah.
Can you tell how to check out big websites that have a million pages? Do we need to use some tools to analyze them, and how to choose priorities on these websites?
Yes. So when it comes to such huge sites, Screaming Frog, it depends on what kind of computer you have. May need a couple of days or weeks, especially if you are executing JavaScript. But there is Jet Octopus, which is very, very fast, way faster. So Jet Octopus, I'm not sure how much time it will need, but it will crawl such a site in, I don't know, in a matter maybe of hours. So when it comes to priorities, so I would say the biggest priorities are the things that can actually impair the site, can have a negative influence on its rankings. Like, for example, if some pages have a no index tag, and we think that they actually shouldn't have a no index tag, or that they have some other errors like 404s, which like we have a million 404s, which are done by mistake, are there by mistake. So I would say like those things that can be like have a direct influence on the site's ranking. And the place to look for such potential critical errors is Google Search Console. So if you log into Google Search Console, if there is something like very, very critical happening, like you have a manual action or you have security issues, but Google Search Console does not always know when your site has been hacked, but in some cases it does. So go to Google Search Console, the coverage report, a security report, manual actions reports, just see what's going on there. There is a huge chance that the most important things will be shown there, even
Yeah.
without crawling.
Love it. Yeah, love it. Can you tell more about migration? How, for example, if I wanna rebrand my domain name, I found much better, a simple name, but I often get issues when migrating old content to a new one, because some chains are broken. Sometimes I can't get the same SEO weight. For example, if I check out my domain authority, it doesn't bring the same domain authority. Can you tell how to migrate the right way? I mean, like to lose less and get the same, I don't know, like traffic and results.
Yeah, so recently I have done a few big migrations, and my checklist, my kind of method of doing that is that I export the data from GSC, all the data I can export from there using a different tool so that I have the information about all keywords or clicks. I do the same with Ahrefs. With Google Analytics, then I merge this data into one spreadsheet. Of course, I do some cleaning, sorting, and stuff like that. And then I sort the URLs by their name, and I clearly see which URL and also I add data about links there. And after I do the cleaning, I see that this URL has so many clicks, ranks for those keywords, has that many links, and I know that this URL has to stay. But if the site has, for example, the site I recently migrated had more than I think 2,000 URLs, and it involved a lot of manual review because you have to go to those pages, see them. Once I have them all sorted out, usually I select the pages which are dead. The ones which, for example, in the last 6 months did not have any traffic, have no links, then I usually 410 them or 404 them. And with this site, I removed 1,300 pages, I think, or even more. And the traffic so far is going up, and the site already got more than I think 2,000 more keywords on very, very high positions. So I did content pruning. This is a nice also moment for you to do content pruning, to keep the URLs, of course, that rank. And if you have that whole spreadsheet with the keywords that those pages rank for, you can also, if you have time, optimize for those keywords. For example, if those titles weren't optimized at all, you can use this migration as a chance to do that. And if you do it correctly, if you also take care of internal links, then you can also expect traffic gains, I would say. But you cannot leave some URLs that have traffic alone, because then you will see drops. I also saw a lot of migrations where people simply forgot to add redirects for some important pages, and the site simply lost half of traffic and never really recovered it, even though we restored the content after, I think we restored it after a couple of months, and the site didn't get back there. So this is keep what's already working and get rid of what's not working, and do some optimizations at the same time if you have time for that.
Got it. Can you tell more about preparation? How to prepare the process? For example, do you have some special checklist that can help to analyze all possible issues? Because if some websites spend, for example, link building costs money, a lot of money, and when you lose all these backlinks, and you can't recover, it's painful. Can you tell how to prepare the process and control the process? Because when we lose this logical chains, I don't know, like links chains, it hurts our results. Can you tell more about that, about preparation?
But we are still talking about migration, yes?
Migration, yeah. Preparation before migration, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to have like the clear, in addition to this analysis, which I just talked about, I crawl the site and I have the
Mhm.
spreadsheet where I have all the URLs that are currently on this site and all the URLs, and I decide whether I, for example, if we are changing the domain name, then I need to like have the redirect map to every URL. I need to be sure that I mapped this redirect. If there is some URL that has some nice links, but for example, now it is 404. This is usually migration is usually a chance to recover those links. If we have some links to 404s, we can try to give them the second life by redirecting them on the new site. But it also depends what types of links these are. Google, John Mueller, I think, recently said that if these are like very, very old links, they may not really help you. But if they are like
Mhm.
very high authority links and you restore them to some pages which may need this little boost, you may help them.
Mhm.
So I would say you need to have the spreadsheet with all URLs and have a plan for each URL, what to do with it. You cannot miss any URL, because if you miss it, you may have problems. And of course,
Mhm.
you can also inform Google about the migration in change the domain name change in GSC, but this is not a requirement. Of course, you need to make sure these are all 301 redirects, and right before making the site live, I also recommend crawling it, having like all those staging URLs, and then right after you push it to production, you also crawl it like the first second it goes live, to make sure there may be some redirects do not work, maybe something broke, maybe some slash was added somewhere, and now you have 404, so you need to do it like the moment after migration.
Mhm. Yeah, nice, nice, valuable. Uh, can you tell about content strategy?
Mhm.
How to find the right content strategy? Because webmasters often chase high volume keywords. They wanna get results. I often see when webmasters see 100K, with some keyword, and then think, wow,
I'm
how
going
how
for
much I
it.
can earn? Yeah, I want all this traffic, all this money. But when they are overwhelmed with high competition, can you tell your strategy to find the right way where we actually can get results according to our resources? Because, for example, if I have two hands, and probably one manager who can help me, small budget, how to find the strategy?
Okay, so I will tell you about one of the first sites I started doing. This was like one of my first keywords research processes I did. I then found the keyword make money online, and this is the keyword I'm going for, or money online, maybe it was even two words, but it was like
Mhm.
super competitive. So yeah, definitely in most cases we don't want to do that, because especially if these are one keywords with just one word, they are probably impossible to rank for, and two, they are usually their intent is not like very precise. For example, if I type phone, what do I want? Do I want to buy a phone? Do I want to learn about a phone? So even if by some magic means we rank for that, it is possible that those keywords wouldn't even convert. So my strategy, what I would recommend here, is to go for low competition, long tail keywords. Usually the keywords that have like zero search volume in Ahrefs, or even the keywords that are even not shown in Ahrefs, like the keywords that are shown, for example, in people also asked. You can scrape people also asked and get a lot of questions there. So this is the strategy I've started on my blog recently. So I used also asked tool. I extracted more than 2,000 keywords, with question keywords, low competition question keywords about SEO. And now I'm simply like going one by one and answering them on my blog in the form of a short article and a video. And
Mhm.
some of them, I noticed that after a few days, in SERPs, my video was shown and featured snippet from my blog. So I think like going for those easier terms, low competition terms, is the way to go. Or for example, if you want to rank for something very high competition, you may start by looking for lower competition keywords that have these keywords somewhere in their text, like let's say SEO audit or SEO audits. This is my keyword, so all the keywords that talk about SEO audits, like how to do an SEO audit, how much an SEO audit cost, and stuff like that, and then you can like silo them into and link them to this one more general article about SEO audits, for example. Maybe that's not the best example, but I hope you know what I mean. So
Yeah, I think
so
it's the best example. I can tell you why, because it's more important what kind of sales can you get. For example, if you get like 100 people a month and can sell 10 times, it's much better than if you get 10,000 people a month and sell one time.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
it's better
exactly.
to. Can you tell how to find how I don't know, not like this. I mean, how to unite your content strategy with a buying journey. For example, if I promote keyword that are not related with my services, what kind of traffic? I don't need this traffic. So probably someone can get results with that. Can you unite strategy with buying journey?
Okay, so I think this is the place where we should spend some time on when we get this list of keywords we want to target. When we should also think about their search intent behind them.
Mhm.
Uh, whether we just want to like provide this is how I would approach it. Like this is how I do it. Whether we want to have someone who is just ready to buy our who is ready to buy an iPhone of this model, and they're ready to buy, or they're just now waiting to like read the review, or whether they're just looking for information. So I would say the best strategy is to have like I wouldn't say like 50%, or have at least some informational content and some like content where the search intent is to buy or almost buy, like person is like just about to make the decision. I think this is especially important in the case of affiliate sites. If you want to have an affiliate site that will survive the future Google product reviews updates, I would say especially there you should invest into creating actual informational content. And among these pieces of content with information, you can have those best or versus or reviews just of specific products or comparisons, whatever your niche is.
Nice, nice. And SEO Book Pro left the comment. I completely agree with this comment about content strategy. First place with all
Yes.
data about this is the Google Search Console. I want to tell about my story with one of my clients. He came to me and asked, please help to get traffic. Luckily, he had traffic like 100K a month in the topic weight loss supplements. It's overwhelmed, overpriced. It's hard to get results with these topics. But he had this traffic and he asked me, can I increase the traffic? Because for over 2 years, he couldn't go ahead. It's like stagnation. And I analyzed Google Search Console. I found pages that bring this traffic, and I found most of them had positions 9, 10, 7,
Yes.
even more than in the top 10, like 11, 15. And I decided to rewrite meta text for this pages because I found the all meta tags were written for the sake of having them. So we used numbers, brackets. We used some many different techniques to increase CTR. We also built a few backlinks, to those pages, and results increase in 2.5 times for a month. Yeah, that was success because
Nice.
SEO is a long game, and I agree with the strategy
So
about
I did a
Google Search Console.
similar thing. I did a similar thing with one of lawyer sites.
Mhm.
So it was like back in I think December. We were building a new site for him, and he had already some positions, some traffic, and the way I did keyword research for him was basically go to Google Search Console. I also installed keywords everywhere. You can also like add some Chrome bookmark so that you can see volume data directly in Google Search Console. And I basically checked what keywords his pages were ranking for, and in many cases they were ranking on position 20, 30, and we simply optimized for those specific lawyer keywords, and the site within a matter of 2 or 3 months started to rank on very very high positions and dominated one of the cities that it was supposed to dominate. So yeah,
Nice.
definitely great strategy for an existing site.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
site.
If you have traffic as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I have the question for some part of my audience because many of them are looking for a job and they want to jump in SEO field. For example, if you started today without any skills, knowledge, experience, what would you do to learn more about SEO to be an expert in one day?
Mm-hmm. So I would again start with Google Search Central blog, and there is also this beginner SEO course. This is where I usually refer people to start reading. And I think Ahrefs also has a bunch of nice free courses with just basics where they explain basics. So I would say sign up for a bunch of courses, follow them all, read Google documentation, and make it a priority to create a bunch of sites as soon as possible and start implementing those things you are learning about. Start changing titles, start creating maybe some content, playing with the things you learn. And if you do it like I would say for 2 3 months, you may be able to get some entry level junior role if you show something that you have already created, that you played with that, you have set up this site. Maybe this site isn't the best in the world, isn't the most beautiful one, but you were playing with that. So I would say I
Mhm.
think the demand for SEO is high, and I predict it is going to be higher and higher for SEOs who really know what they're talking about. And I think the most important thing is to be willing to learn new things and to explore, to experiment,
Mhm.
and to
By the way, guys, you can when you learn, you can share all new skills on social media as Olga does. He's super
yes.
active on that to share on her blog, on social media. So it's the way to learn. Yeah, we discussed about that before the podcast. When you share, you can learn, help others, support others, and it's the way to grow your audience as well. So.
Yes, I
Uh,
I think I would never ever learn and understand, would be able to understand Core Web Vitals if I hadn't created a very very in-depth guide about that. Because I started with studying Google documentation, then I created a guide about Core Web Vitals, then I created a guide on how to audit Core Web Vitals. And without that, I think I wouldn't know much about it. So even though
yeah.
I thought I knew, but when I created, actually, when I actually had to take some of those screenshots, had to like change some things, check some things, I actually learned a ton.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a good way to learn more when you write guides to full tutorials. It's not only about getting traffic, it's more about learning,
Yes.
helping others, building your audience. Okay, I have the question about the future of SEO. What kind of future can you predict according that new things are coming, like metaverse, web 3.0, many other things?
AI, yeah.
Yeah, AI, what do you think?
So I would say the human element will still be necessary, but maybe it will change a bit. Maybe I think there will be more automation. Maybe some of the tasks we are now doing manually, we will be able to fully automate. Like, for example, there are AI. It can help us, but I wouldn't like trust it entirely. Like, create an article, publish it without. We still need to like supervise those things. Maybe in the future we will have to make less of that supervision, but I think it will still be necessary for us to decide what needs to be done and why it needs to be done, because I think those machines, even now, those automated SEO crawlers, they send us a report telling that you have 100 errors. But when an SEO reads that report and uses like their own experience, their own SEO brain, they see that, okay, like 5 of them are actually issues, the rest aren't issues, because I know that, because my experience tells me that. So I think this human element will still be necessary. So, but it will be a good idea to learn Python, to learn Python, and maybe things that may help us with facilitating SEO automation. But I think
Mhm.
SEO is not going to be dead in the nearest future.
Yeah, I'm not good with forecasting. When
Yeah.
I forecast, when I invest my extra money that I have, I usually fail. So yeah, for me it's better to save them.
Yes.
Uh, but uh, but I found one way. I can see SEO is growing. Yeah, we can see it, and it will not be dropped in one day without any traffic. People forget
Yes.
because it takes time to change habits, to find new channels. And if you have experience with SEO, even if you see it's decreasing, then using this experience, you can adapt to new channels as well. So it's the way. For example, I remember when Gary Vee mentioned about TikTok, someone asked him, do we need to grow on TikTok if the US government will ban TikTok? And he replied, okay, you can grow on TikTok if it's banned. You have this experience and you can use this experience to other channels, because without
Exactly.
experience, it's hard to cover other channels as well. So I think SEO has a shiny future. It's my point.
Yes.
Even if doesn't, you can get experience and use in other channels as well. Yeah.
100%. Yes.
Can you tell 3 things that webmasters need to do and 3 things that webmasters need to avoid? I mean, like some obsolete techniques.
Okay, so what I think they need to use Google Search Console and actually log in there and see what's there, because I see that a ton of people totally neglect Google Search Console, and you can actually see a lot of valuable information there. So Google Search Console, I would say you should get interested in internal linking if you aren't already, and use internal linking, the power of internal linking, and update the existing content. So creating new content is great, but if you like leave your posts like for themselves for a couple of years, they will be decaying and they will stop ranking, or they won't be ranking as well. So I would say update new content and create new content as well. And the things they should stop doing, I would say do not rely entirely on automated SEO audit reports, because,
Mhm.
or don't get obsessed about them, because yeah, sometimes you get an email, there's a critical issue on your website, and but this isn't a critical issue. In most cases it isn't. One of those is, for example, the HTML to text ratio, something like that. So yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think this is like a very important thing to fix.
Mhm.
Uh, Another thing to stop doing, I would say, stop. Let me stop obsessing about speed. I know we already talked about this, but I see
Mm-hmm.
some people are so fixated on that, like keep like only like get the green score, while they have like the basic things are like failing. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say speed is important, but do not obsess about it, and don't forget to read SEO news and listen to
Mm-hmm.
SEO podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like SEO podcasts were like life changing for me when I started to listening SEO podcasts. I think, yeah, 2 3 years ago. I got so hooked up on them, and like I cannot like walk my dog without listening to podcast. I cannot ride a bike or run without listening to SEO podcasts. And especially if you listen to them at like
Mm-hmm.
higher speed, like 2 times or 1.5, you can absorb so much knowledge in like 2 hours. You can consume 3 hours of knowledge.
You unhided my secrets, because I
Oh,
usually listen to audio podcasts when I
yeah.
walking with my dogs, when
Yeah,
I'm
the
exercising,
same.
training,
Yes,
biking, everything.
yes, the same.
But I usually divide my time between podcasts and audiobooks because I think like audiobooks are foundation of the
Yes,
skills. And once I read the study, for example, if you read a book, authors usually spend like 6 months, an year to write this book. When they create audio podcasts or blog posts, it takes a few days, probably
yes,
sometimes a few hours, because they rely on their experience. That's okay. I think all formats are good because with books you can get foundation of human
yes,
psychology. With blogs and audio podcasts, you can get some new ideas, interesting insights.
yes,
And when I learn, from audio podcasts or reading blog posts, I usually get some interesting ideas to share with my knowledge that I usually do. That's why I can grow, my social
yes.
media accounts with that. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Olga, it's a big pleasure to get on my show,
Yes.
to learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
So you can go to my website, seosite.com, and see the things I'm creating there. I'm also on Twitter at Olga Zarzeczna, like written together, and on LinkedIn. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on Twitter, or simply like email me, and we'll see.
Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Follow Olga because you can see, from this podcast, Olga shares a lot of valuable insights. You can learn more insights. That's why you need to follow Olga on Twitter or and any other places. Listen us on Apple and see you next time.
See you.